Thank you, Mr. Lopez, and congratulations to your award recipients. I'd now like to turn to Dia Poole for the report of the CSU Alumni Council.
Thank you, Vice Chair Day. I'm pleased to be with you today to share several updates from the Alumni Council. As you know, my second term as Alumni Council President concludes on June 30th, so I have about, 6 more weeks to make a difference. I look forward to introducing you to our incoming President, Manolo Morales, in just a few moments. Regarding Graduation Initiative 2025, when I was last with you, I shared that the Alumni Council was scheduled to meet in March at CSU Bakersfield. The entire meeting focused on Graduation Initiative 2025 and how alumni can be active contributors to student success. While many of our campuses have innovative programs that encourage alumni participation with students, we have much potential for growth there. With over 3.3 million alumni, engaging even a small portion of them in ways that bring them together with students to support career preparation and degree completion could provide additional momentum toward increasing graduation rates and closing the equity gap. The Alumni Council focused its discussion on ways alumni can be meaningfully involved in 2 main areas: career preparation, and second, meeting basic needs, such as addressing food and housing insecurity and providing emergency grant funding for students. We had a very engaging discussion, including a welcome for Chancellor White and presentations from Dr. James Minor and Dr. Sabrina Sanders. We also heard from our colleague Eileen Beaker, the Career Services Director at Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, and from a panel of amazing students. We took the knowledge from those presentations and spent our second day divided into tiger teams to brainstorm ways that alumni could meaningfully support students related to career preparation and basic needs. And in just a few short hours, I'm happy to say, we generated over 6 type pages of short-term through long-range initiatives that, with careful planning, could help move the needle and positively impact student well-being and success. The Alumni Council also passed a resolution committing itself to being a meaningful partner in the success of Graduation Initiative 2025 and to produce a toolkit for campus alumni associations that will allow them to see ways alumni programming can be used to support student success goals and to choose from among best practices already implemented across the system. So there would be no need to reinvent the wheel if a campus saw a best practice that they felt that they could adopt locally. We are putting the finishing touches on the toolkit now and expect it to be released at the end of this month. It will be a work in progress, and we will be asking campuses to add information as they develop programming around these ideas so that others can benefit. And I'm happy to say that those 6 pages included over 40 initiatives that we think are implementable, both addressing career preparation and basic needs. So that's just a start. Imagine what we could do as more alumni get involved. You will receive a memo that I distribute to key stakeholders when we share the toolkit, so we're very excited about that. I can tell you that alumni leaders across the system are so excited about being more engaged in student success, and there is much momentum in moving this excitement forward into actionable action steps. The Graduation Initiative is expected to create an additional 500,000 new alumni on top of the 100,000 per year already joining our ranks. Engaging them as students will allow us to turn to them as graduates to assist the next generation of students. I would like to encourage our campus presidents to please appoint alumni to your campus and the system-wide Graduation Initiative work groups. We are ready and willing to serve. A special thank you to President Mitchell and his staff for hosting us at CSU Bakersfield. He spent a great deal of time personally with us, and we really appreciate that. It was a wonderful experience, so thank you, President Mitchell. On the advocacy front, along with many of you, the Alumni Council leadership has been very involved in advocating for full funding for the university's budget request. Manolo and I, along with Alumni Council member Paul Finn from Sacramento State, joined with state legislators and system leaders on the training ship Golden Bear when it was in port in Sacramento. It was a great opportunity to share the critical need for investment in the CSU and how the success of GI 2025 hinges on that investment. I was also happy to join CSU leadership in Washington, D.C. for our Federal Advocacy Hill Day meetings. I'm so pleased that the CSU's sustained push for the year-round Pell resulted in the restoration of that program. And I believe that our system-wide visibility and the work of our Federal Relations Office played a great role in that accomplishment. Our April East Coast trip was rounded out by a very successful first-time system-wide Washington, D.C. alumni reception, and for the 7th annual New York alumni reception, each with over 200 alumni attending. My very special thanks to President Garcia for being our host at the University Club in New York for the last 7 years. Your commitment to this event truly has built it into what it is today and helped us establish the CSU Alumni Relations present in the tri-state area. We're also indebted to President Wong and President Sakaki for securing our outstanding alumni guest speakers at the receptions. They were both just amazing, so thank you for bringing them. I briefly want to echo the remarks of Chancellor White regarding the passing of our past president, Al Karnick, at Cal State San Bernardino. Those of you who knew him know he was just a staunch advocate for students and alumni and largely responsible for the development of our Palm Desert campus, which is celebrating its 30th anniversary this year and also its first 4-year graduating class. So he leaves a wonderful legacy, and I thank all of you who came to us in San Bernardino and attended and supported his family. It's now my pleasure to introduce to you Alumni Council President-elect Manolo Morales, who will begin his term on July 1st. Manolo is a graduate of Humboldt State University, earning his bachelor's degree in political science. While at Humboldt State, Manolo served as Associated Students Vice President, Chairman of the University Center Board of Directors, and Academic Senate Liaison before being elected as President of CSSA. We are especially proud of Manolo's legacy of student leadership as he begins his leadership of the Alumni Council. Manolo is currently serving as Vice President for State Government and Industry Affairs at Chubb Insurance, covering the western region of the United States. Prior to this role, he was a lobbyist for the insurance industry for 7 years and a member of the administration of Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger. And I'd like to be among the first to call him by his new formal title, Manolo Morales Esquire, as he just passed the bar exam. He was one of only 34% who passed the test during this sitting, and that's made in the CSU proud. So Manolo, welcome, and I invite you to share your story with us.
Well, thank you very much. Before I start, let's all give Dia another round of applause for her amazing leadership over these past 2 years. It is a peaceful transition of power, as we've been discussing at the Alumni Council for several months now, although apparently not a late-night Twitter account is probably to be expected soon. I just very briefly, I couldn't be more happy to be here. My name is Manolo Platin Morales. I graduated from Humboldt State University in 2005. 12 years ago, I sat where President Lopez sits right now and gave my final report as CSSA president. So I like to think of this as coming around full circle. You know, Humboldt State really gave me everything that I needed to survive and to thrive in this world, and I wouldn't be here without it. You know, everything between the small classes, excellent faculty, access to the administration, and I think more than that, access to student government. Student government can be very competitive to get into. Humboldt really took down a lot of those barriers and let you get involved as a volunteer before you ran for, you know, these high-ranking positions. So I really do owe everything there. 2005, I'll admit one thing, I sat here as I sat where President Lopez sits. I started my very first Facebook account on the laptop in this room. Not that the Committee on Grounds was not just riveting, but you know, it was the thing to do in 2005. And so it was definitely here. I did mention to Aaron, we had to plug in through the Ethernet cable because Wi-Fi didn't exist, but that's something else. So, you know, just getting back to CSU, after I graduated, I did the executive fellowship in the California Capitol, a Sacramento State program, of course. So I'm actually an alum of there as well. As Dia mentioned, I worked for Governor Schwarzenegger, but I never stopped really advocating for the CSU, and I've been involved with Humboldt State's Advocacy Days, the CSU Advocacy Days, and really look forward to continuing that with Kathleen Chavira and Garrett Ashley and their whole team. They're doing a great job up there. So basically, that's what I have to say. I'll be here for the next 2 years, trying to fill some very large shoes from Dia. Very excited, and go CSU.
Thank you, Manolo, and I know the Alumni Council will be in good hands during your presidency, and you know you can count on me if you need anything. I would again like to thank Chancellor White and his administration, in particular the Advancement Division, Mr. Ashley and Lori Redfern, Aaron, Shafali, Sean, Sam, everyone in upstairs. They have kept me on the straight and narrow for 2 years, and I really appreciate that. I couldn't have done the few things that I was able to do without your help and your support, and I'm just happy that you're fellow alums, that you're working here in the CSU, and that you're keeping us going. So thank you, really, from the bottom of my heart and on behalf of the entire council for everything you've done. My president, President Morales, for the faith that you have placed in me. I appreciate that. And to all the campus presidents, you've been nothing but welcoming for these past 2 years, and your support has been unwavering. And I'm just so excited to see where you will take your various campuses. And I hope that you can count on our alumni involvement to help you meet your goals as president. Thank you so much for that. Presenting to you, to the Board of Trustees, presenting to the Academic Senate, presenting to the California State Student Association. That's truly been a highlight of my service to the CSU, and I do not take lightly the opportunity that you've given me to showcase how the CSU has made a difference in my life and those of the CSU alumni family members that join me. I will continue on the council as immediate past president. They tried to get rid of me, but the bylaws don't permit it, so I'll be there. Doing whatever I can to foster an even greater sense of responsibility among my colleagues to guarantee that the doors of the CSU remain open for the creation of future alumni. Serving on the Alumni Council for the past 15 years has not been any form of a burden. It's my reasonable service, and I'm happy to do it. Finally, I must thank my family. As many of you know, it's been a very, very tough last year for us, but because they share my passion for the CSU, they require that I give back a portion of what the CSU has given to me. And so I'm very happy to serve in honor of my parents and my sister. Thank you, Vice Chair Day. That concludes my final report.
Thank you, Ms. Poole, and thank you for your service. It's been a pleasure having you, and we wish you well.
Thank you.
It's now time for the